Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. We'll tell you more about what they do coming up later on in the show. Today, we are talking about the top training camp storylines involving your Baltimore Ravens as they get ready for training camp later on this week. Before we get to that, though, this month here at Chat Sports is all about the Noti Gang. We want to make sure that you are a part of the Noti Gang, and we'll give you a little extra incentive to join the Noti Gang. The first 10 people that comment gang on today's show, you're going to get a shout-out on the next edition of the Ravens Rundown. That's just the type of thing we'll do. So go ahead and subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on that notification bell, and you'll get your shout-out, I promise, on the next edition of Ravens Rundown. So today we are looking at the 5 top storylines involving the Ravens as they head into training camp. And this has been a very interesting offseason, right? You have the veterans reporting tomorrow, and then we'll get the first full team practice on Wednesday. And at this point, I think this Ravens team feels pretty solid, but there's still some uncertainty, some unanswered questions at this point. And the first of those is Lamar Jackson's contract situation. Here we are. It is the end of July, and there is no new deal for Lamar Jackson. In fact, all signs point to that they're not close to a deal right now, that this is still an ongoing process of sorts. Now, no one's expecting Lamar to hold out from training camp, that he'll still be around, but now that Kyler Murray has gotten paid, you have to think Lamar Jackson is next. He's the last big-name quarterback that's still waiting on his. The money that was given out, Kyler Murray now the second highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. And, look, Kyler Murray is a very talented player. He's had a good start to his career in Arizona. But nobody is sitting here saying that Kyler Murray is better than Lamar Jackson. All of a sudden, Lamar taking his time waiting, now he could get more money than Lamar than what we saw with Kyler Murray, that $46 million. And what's important, too, is that the Ravens need to stay focused on internally what they know about Lamar Jackson, not what the outside doubters have to say about Lamar Jackson. They know him better than anyone else. I mean, there was this report from the Unathletic this week, as, of course, they would go to some unnamed current NFL defensive coordinator that probably works for Bill Polian, I would guess, based on this type of quote. I don't give an S word if he wins the league MVP 12 times. I don't think he'll ever be a 1 as a quarterback. He'll be a 1 as a football player, not as a quarterback. What the hell does that mean? I mean, Lamar Jackson is a 1. The Ravens know that he's elite, that he's a great quarterback, and eventually that money will show up. I think that we're going to see Lamar Jackson and the Ravens come to terms and get a deal done sooner rather than later. And until a deal is in place, this is going to continue to linger. Going to be a story throughout training camp and however long this may go, and we'll continue to cover it here on the Ravens Rundown. So, prediction time. Will we see Lamar Jackson get a new contract before week 1? Will a deal get done? Will they be able to negotiate things and get this figured out? Let me know in the comment section. This is our pinned comment today. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. While the ad's playing, get your votes in. Let me know one way or the other. Y for yes, in for no. If Lamar gets an extension before week 1, that's Y for yes, in for no. Next up, some news from the last couple of days. Marlon Humphrey has a new restructured deal, and I want to go over what exactly this all is. Phil Yates of ESPN was the one that broke this story, and here's what he said. The Ravens have converted $8.965 million of star cornerback Marlon Humphrey's $10 million base salary into signing bonus, creating $7.172 million in salary cap space. That was according to a source to Phil Yates. So, look, we already know that Marlon Humphrey is a part of the best secondary in the National Football League. I mean, what a group on tap. You bring in Marcus Williams from the New Orleans Saints, who is just nothing short of terrific. Kyle Hamilton, one of the best players in this draft, will start at strong safety, going alongside Fuller, Peters, Humphrey. It's a great group there. So now you got Humphrey locked up. What will you do next? That's what I wonder. You made room there for something. You didn't just create salary cap space for no reason. There had to be something in mind. What is that? What are they going to do? I mean, not to go all Brian Windhorst and everybody here, but I'm very curious. What was this about? More on that in just a second. Today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company that provides protection for the entire family. And we're offering a free 14-day trial right now for viewers of the Ravens Rundown at aura.com/chatsports. You may be asking yourself, well, what is Aura? Well, let's tell you a little bit more about what they do. They offer everything from digital security for your smartphone and from the dark web, and also they're going to protect your credit card information as well. And you can have up to 5 people on one account. So mom and dad and your son and grandpa, everybody can be taken care of with Aura. It's a great deal for all parties involved. The all-in-one safety group that's going to protect you online and your banking as well in every way, shape, or form. Sign up now, free 14-day trial at aura.com/chatsports just for viewers of Ravens Rundown. Get yours now, aura.com/chatsports. Another big story is Ronnie Stanley's injury, and we have continued to talk about this situation for a while here on the Ravens Rundown, and I got to tell you, the way things are shaping out, the Ravens badly need Ronnie Stanley back. Okay, Ronnie Stanley is one of the best left tackles in all of football, and you're not going to be able to simply just replace Ronnie Stanley, whether it's a trade or free agency, whatever it may be. There's no better option than Ronnie Stanley at all. And here is how the situation has played out. Right now, he begins camp on the PUP list. And we've heard John Harbaugh say that he's hopeful that he will return by week 1. But we'll see. Juwan James has been told to be ready to go to step into that spot at the left tackle position if we don't see Ronnie Stanley available at the beginning of the season. Now, even with that said, Juwan James hasn't played a football game since 2019. So not only could you be potentially without one of the best tackles in all of football to begin the year, but the guy that you're potentially turning to, that you're asking to step up and fill the void, is somebody that we don't know what necessarily is going to look like. When you haven't played football in that long, that's who you're relying on. That should be a cause for concern no matter what. The Ravens need Ronnie Stanley back. It sounds like things are heading in the right direction, but, you know, I'm skeptical, and there's reason to be skeptical. So with that said, will Ronnie Stanley be back before week 1? Our true or false question today is Ronnie Stanley will be back before week 1. Let me know in the comments section. T for true, if that's accurate. F for false, if you don't think that he'll be back before week 1. Let me know in the comments section. And when we know the status of Ronnie Stanley, when he does make his triumphant return, you'll be the first to know here on the Ravens Rundown. We will cover it like no one else will as we cover this team each and every day throughout training camp. Go ahead and subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on those notifications as well. Join the Noti gang, and you'll be glad you did. youtube.com/RavensTV. Couple more for you. Let's talk about the wide receiver room. A lot of discussion about this group this offseason as the Ravens are turning to their young guys to lead this group with the departures of Hollywood Brown as well as Sammy Watkins and having a lot of guys that are unproven right now. It really is put up or shut up time for this wide receiver room. I think you've heard about every critic imaginable in the national media over the last few months have everything to say about this wide receiver room. And Rashad Bateman, as your number 1 wide receiver, although there's a lot to like about Rashad Bateman, even he is somebody that we haven't seen a whole lot of, quite frankly. I mean, I'm high on Tylan Wallace. I think that he potentially could have a really good year, a breakout season, maybe even move up to be that number 2 receiver. But quite frankly, we just don't know at this point in time. And we talked earlier about the money that was freed up with Marlon Humphrey. Well, we've talked for a long time in this channel about wide receiver options in free agency. And maybe that's where the money was freed up. Maybe it was to get a guy like Odell Beckham or Julio Jones or Will Fuller or Emmanuel Sanders. And when we look at that wide receiver group for the Ravens there, yes, it's young, but I don't think it would hurt them at all to bring in one of these guys. Preferably, I would go with Julio Jones, quite frankly. If it were up to me to make that decision, I don't see how that can hurt you. If it doesn't cost you much, why would you not want to have that strength in numbers there and bring a veteran receiver into that group and see what you can do from there and at least challenge those guys for playing time and make everybody better? I think that's the Ravens' best option, quite frankly. Last one for you on our countdown today of top training camp storylines, the return of J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Now, both players will begin camp on the PUP list, but all signs point to that they expect to be back. And even if they're not quite ready to go when the season begins, that's okay, actually, because the Ravens running back room is in really good shape. And I know last year everything that went wrong for this group, but they are much better suited in 2022. You bring in Mike Davis from the Atlanta Falcons to be your number 3 running back. Justice Hill is still around for now anyway. And then there's Tyler Beatty, the day 3 selection out of Mizzou, who has just impressed coaches a lot. Here's what John Harbaugh had to say a while back about both Mike Davis and Tyler Beatty. I'm very positive about Mike Davis. He shows up as a veteran running back. He's quick. He has really good vision, and he's always been a good receiving running back. But when you see it in person, it kind of opens your eyes. I'll say Tyler Beatty, too, is a receiving running back. These guys kind of jumped out that way in camp. So a lot to like with those guys. You don't have to rush Gus Edwards back or J.K. Dobbins. Give them the time that they need because you have depth at that running back position you did not have before. Reason to be optimistic. Now, I don't know how many running backs the Ravens will carry when the season begins. Depends on the status of Dobbins and Edwards, but I got to tell you, they're in good shape. We mentioned Tyler Beatty. He's one of several rookies on this Ravens team. Who's your favorite rookie? Let me know in the comment section below who your favorite Ravens rookie is, and we'll see you next time here on the Ravens Rundown.